been an exciting week or so with lots of news. Orioles outfield prospect Enrique Bradfield Jr. coming up to Bowie, and then another outfield prospect in Jud Fabian moving up to Triple-A Norfolk. So we'll start with Jud. You guys have worked a lot with each other in the past, both in Aberdeen and here in Bowie. So what did it mean to you to see him kind of promote one step closer to the big leagues?
Yeah, it was an honor and a privilege to be his manager. That's what I told him when I called him in. Just a blessed to be a part of his development, just a small piece of it, and just a great player, lead outfielder, plays the game hard, true competitor, and is so coachable. So it was pretty cool. I got to promote him to Double-A, and then had the opportunity to promote him to Triple-A. So special player, and he's an easy guy to root for.
So we'll get to kind of the defensive replacement in a second, but in terms of on the offensive side of things, he led the team in home runs with 18 and RBIs with 58. So who do you anticipate to fill those shoes on the offensive side of things?
I mean, I think it's just a collective effort. We got a bunch of guys that just came up from Aberdeen, and obviously their speed is what everybody talks about, but they can also swing it and play some great defense as well. And obviously Enrique kind of man in center field now that Jud's gone. He obviously can swing it and is playing really well, and obviously an elite defender, so not much let up there. Obviously the home runs is going to be tough to, I think he was leading the Eastern League in home runs, but again, we got a collective group of guys that are swinging it well, and we've been playing some really good baseball the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, so speaking of Enrique Bradfield Jr., Orioles first-round pick last year in the draft, known for his speed, like you said. So both offensively and defensively for Enrique, what are you most looking forward to seeing?
Yeah, specifically just, again, hitting balls hard at good angles, and also the defense, we know what he can do. I think the baseball IQ is elite. I mean, he tagged up the other day from first base on a ball that most guys would have probably went halfway, so he just changes the game. He's an elite runner and an elite IQ and a great guy to be around, great team guy. I had the pleasure of having him last year for a little bit at the end of the season, and yeah, looking forward to seeing him develop and continue to learn. I think the base running is obviously, this is a higher level. Catchers are better, pitchers do a better job holding runners, and just him being a student of the game and continuing to grow and get better. And Billy Facto does a tremendous job with our base runners, and I know he's going to help him as well as he continues on his journey.
So at the plate, Enrique and Jud were very different players. Jud had some issues with swing and miss rates, strikeouts, but again was the team leader in home runs, whereas Enrique barely misses. So I guess what's kind of going to be the biggest challenge for the coaching staff as a whole to coach them differently?
Yeah, I think, and again, we coach everybody differently depending on their tool set, and obviously Enrique is more of a low line drive kind of guy who has some gap power, not necessarily home run power, and that's okay. So we're not going to try to make him a home run hitter or anything like that. He is who he is, and he's a special player, and he'll be at the top of the lineup for us the rest of the season as long as he's here. So it's fun, and he's an exciting guy to be around, and brings a lot of energy to the clubhouse.
In terms of the rest of the outfield, you kind of mentioned this, lots of guys. It's definitely a full outfield with lots of talented players. You got Dylan Beavers, who was just Eastern League Player of the Week, Tavian Josenberger, so lots of different guys. As a whole, how are they coming together with some people who have just been promoted from Aberdeen, and then also Beavers, who is kind of a veteran at this point?
Yeah, I think the clubhouse, these guys do a great job of welcoming guys. They know each other from spring training, and it's exciting to see guys. Obviously, everybody was pumped up for Jud to move up, and everybody was excited as well for our new guys to show up here. And obviously, they made an impact right away. Last week, they came in, all played really well, played elite defense, and swung the bats well. So, everybody's rooting for each other. We have a philosophy here of, hey, I want you to do good, but I want to do better than you. Almost that competitive spirit. These guys are obviously competing against each other, but also they're rooting for each other at the same time. So creating that kind of culture and making sure guys are pushing each other in the right direction and feeding off each other's energy. So it's been great having those guys here.
Is there someone who's kind of been the leader in that clubhouse, especially in outfield?
Yeah, it was Jud Fabian, and he was that guy out there. I would say, honestly, not even from the outfield, more Silas. Silas has been kind of our leader in the clubhouse, kind of takes guys in, great energy, locked in, plays the game the right way, and I'd say Silas has been our leader all year.
And then the last question I'll ask you, just given your experience with so much talent in this farm system, coaching so many top prospects in Samuel Basayo and everyone else, recently the MLB Pipeline ranked the Orioles for the first time in 6 phases of these rankings not as the top farm system in baseball. I kind of wanted to get your reaction to that.
Not concerned about it. Every single day we try to do our best and try to get 1% better and try to get our players, get them in the best position to be successful and move on. And I think we do a great job as an organization from top to bottom, communicating the same language and making sure we're all locked in for each individual player. So definitely blessed to be part of this organization, and it's been exciting to be here for the last couple of years, and it's pretty cool seeing those guys move their way up, whether it's through trade and giving them opportunities with other teams, or seeing guys like Colin Cowser, Heston Kjerstad, and obviously Jackson Holiday, and seeing those guys in the big leagues is pretty cool.
Awesome. Well, Berto, thanks so much as always for your time.
No problem. Thank you for having me.